All right, so get this.
Okay.
Today we're doing a deep dive,
Oh,
and
no.
it's kind of unusual.
Yeah.
We're going into the world of English lessons,
Right.
but not like your typical textbook.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're looking at notes for a podcast episode in Portuguese,
Interesting.
and it's all about teaching English.
Wow, that's meta.
Yeah, it's like a language learning inception moment or something.
Yeah, it really is fascinating to see how other cultures approach language learning.
Right.
It's these notes, even though they're brief, they give us a look into,
Yeah,
you know,
a different perspective.
different
So
perspectives.
picture this.
Okay.
The lesson is for beginners,
Okay.
and it's this conversation
Wow.
between two characters, Jerry and Michael,
Right.
and they're just hanging out at a bar.
Interesting. A bar to learn English.
I know, right?
That's,
Color me intrigued.
I like that. I mean, there's a clever strategy there, I think. I mean, bars are familiar spaces, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And, you've got these everyday interactions.
Yeah.
So it's a way for learners to practice like common phrases and vocabulary,
Absolutely.
but in a context that feels relatable.
Right, and comfortable too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like anybody can imagine being at a bar.
Totally. So Jerry's the customer and Michael is the bartender.
Oh, okay.
So it's like eavesdropping on a slice of real life.
Yeah.
Except,
Like a little play.
yeah, it's carefully crafted to teach English.
It's very cool.
It is cool, and then it gets even more interesting.
Oh, how so?
The notes specifically say American English.
American English. Okay.
So why would they make that distinction? You know?
Yeah, why American English as opposed to British English?
Exactly.
Or Australian English?
It makes you wonder, right?
It really does.
I mean, maybe it's because American media is so prevalent
That's probably part of it.
globally.
Yeah.
Or maybe they think American pronunciation
It's
is
more accessible.
easier for beginners.
Yeah.
So,
It definitely speaks to the influence of American culture around the world.
totally.
But you know what? That also means that learners might not be as prepared
Yeah.
for like the variety of accents and cultural nuances
Oh,
they might
yeah.
encounter,
Good point.
let's say in the UK or Australia or...
Right, different places.
Yeah,
And the fact that it's a podcast dialogue too,
right.
that's pretty clever, right?
It's clever.
Because learners can just listen.
They can just absorb it.
Yeah, they can passively absorb the flow of the language
Yeah,
and the pronunciation.
exactly. It's a subtle way to learn, almost like osmosis.
That's a good way to put it.
And dialogue-based learning has a lot of advantages too.
Right.
Think about it. You're exposed to natural grammar,
Uh-huh.
those informal expressions that you won't find in a textbook.
Yes.
All the little nuances that make a language come alive.
Totally. So how does this Portuguese podcast pull it off?
Okay, so for example, there's a moment where Michael the bartender asks Jerry the customer, "What's your poison?"
What's your poison? Interesting.
It's playful, right?
Yeah,
It's a way to ask for someone's drink order,
right.
but it teaches vocabulary and a bit of cultural slang
All at once.
all at once.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's sneakily educational.
Totally.
But let's be real.
Cup.
Listening to a podcast,
Mm-hmm.
even a really creative one like this,
Right.
it's probably not enough to actually become fluent.
Absolutely not. It's a fantastic starting point,
Sure.
but it's not like a magic solution.
Not a magic bullet.
Learners still need to actively practice.
They got to do the work.
They got to do the work they need to engage with other materials,
Right.
immerse themselves.
Yeah.
It's more like a foundation,
Okay.
a fun and engaging way to spark the learning process.
So like in the big picture,
Yeah.
what does this little peek into this Portuguese English lesson tell us?
It shows us the power of creative approaches to learning,
Yeah,
making a lesson feel like a casual chat at a bar,
right.
using dialogue, using humor. These methods can make language learning less intimidating,
Less scary.
less scary, and more accessible to people.
Right. And that's what we want.
Exactly.
We want to make it easy for people to learn.
Yes, definitely.
And it leaves us with a question to ponder.
Okay.
How can we apply this kind of thinking to other subjects?
That's a great question.
Like, could we turn history lessons into captivating stories?
Right.
Or
right.
or math problems into real-world puzzles to
Exactly.
make it more engaging?
Yeah, how can we make any learning experience, no matter the subject,
Yeah,
more relatable and fun?
I love it.
The possibilities are endless.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah,
Endless possibilities.
endless possibilities.
That's it for this deep dive.
Awesome.
See you next time.
See ya, Rhett. See ya.